Hardcore and Ironman mode have had a huge uprise recently in the old MMO scene, which makes me wonder if Nexon is also considering taking advantage of this trend. Hardcore being where you only have one life and death is permanent. If you die, you have to start all over. And Ironman is a mode that requires you to be self-sufficient. Things like trading, using the auction house, and playing with other people are not allowed. What would it look like if these challenge modes were ever added into Maplestory Classic? Would they enhance the Maplestory experience? Or maybe the game isn't a good fit for this style of play. Now, Hardcore and Ironman are nothing new, they've been around for a while, but they've never really caught on in MMOs until earlier this year when content creators from all over linked up to form the Hardcore WoW Classic guild OnlyFangs. This ended up being a huge collaboration that went viral, and it brought a lot of attention to what a hardcore mode can do for these MMOs that are decades old and feel solved already. Even I couldn't resist hopping on for a little hardcore WoW binge. Here's some clips of how that went. Eventually the WoW phase died down, and now a lot of those same people have moved over to old school RuneScape to try out their hardcore Ironman mode. You can even do group Ironman, which lets you team up with 2 to 5 other people so that you can still play with friends and progress together. These challenge modes that are catching on in MMOs have proven to be quite amazing. They get you more invested and immersed in your character. Every little thing that you do within the game matters that much more. And after seeing what they can do for these other games like WoW and RuneScape, I wonder if that same excitement could also be brought to Maplestory. Let's think a little bit about how that would work. In a game like WoW, hardcore completely changes your mindset while playing. You need to be on your toes at all times while out in the world. You'll think more before taking fights or doing certain quests. The dungeons feel much more intense knowing that one mistake could ruin it for your whole party, and the list goes on and on about why it works so well. When I think about how hardcore plays out in Maplestory, it looks nothing like that. The main risk of dying in this game is if you zone out and just forget to push your potion hotkey, which would be a pretty lame way to lose your character. That's assuming you don't already have the auto heal item from the cash shop. This would keep you alive in nearly all situations without you having to even think about it. Unlike most other games, there's no cooldown on health pots. You don't need to save them for a last second clutch situation, and you can buy as many as you need. While traveling around the world, there's not going to be any drama or excitement since you're never in much danger. The enemies aren't very threatening, and you can clearly see the whole map, so there's no chance really for an intense moment where something sneaks up on you. You can basically just run past everything carelessly. It's not all bad though. I think there are some redeeming factors like party quests and boss fights. It's always fun to group with other players, knowing that you all only have one life. It makes you feel more united, like you're all in this together. Boss fights are where you would be at the most risk of dying, but the problem is, by the time you reach that point, you've already invested hundreds of hours into your character. The risk to reward ratio here seems way off in my opinion. Imagine hours and hours of mindlessly grinding until you're finally strong enough to attempt somewhat challenging content. And you die immediately. There's no build-up in difficulty at all, it just goes 0 to 100, just like that. I guess it's hardcore for a reason. On the other hand, I can see Ironman working out well in Maplestory. It would encourage traveling around the world more, going to areas you wouldn't normally go to in order to find specific items, or even use the crafting NPCs to make your own gear, which is a mechanic that usually gets completely ignored. The feeling of getting gear upgrades on your own is way more satisfying than just buying whatever you need from other players. That said, it would suck to have the free market taken away, because that's a part of Maplestory that I and many others really enjoy. It can almost be like a whole game in itself. It's nice at times to just browse through the shops and see if there's anything you want to buy, or just do some price checking. It also makes it more exhilarating to find rare drops, because you know that you'll be able to sell it and make some money. One concern I have though for Ironman is that because you can't trade, it would probably be too tough to get enough scrolls. Scrolling is a fun part of the game that shouldn't be taken away, so I think something would have to change with the way that scrolls drop. You do already have access though to the 100% scrolls that you can buy from the scroll vendor. But overall, I think that Ironman is a good fit for Maplestory. It's a really rewarding way to play, and it adds another layer of challenge that I think this game could benefit from. Hardcore would be okay, but I think it would be more frustrating than fun. The game just doesn't put you in many situations that give you the thrill you're looking for in Hardcore. It just feels like it would be more of a waste of time, to be honest, and that's coming from a Hardcore enjoyer myself. The question now is, would Nexon ever actually add something like this into Maplestory Classic? My gut feeling says no, but they've surprised us before with things like Reboot, so maybe there is hope. What do you guys think? Would you like to eventually see a Hardcore and/or Ironman mode, or should the game stay the way it is? Let me know down in the comments.